Hi guys, so we've had Christmas, New Year's over, and it is now 2013. So that can only mean one thing, and that it's time for my 2012 beauty favourites. And I was trying to kind of think about how to do this for such a long time because I didn't want to have a massive long video with me just rambling on about, you know, hundreds of different things. So I decided to kind of like narrow it down to the real standout products of the year. So I'm going to do the 12 best products from 2012 basically. So starting off, I'm going to talk about some skincare items that I've really I couldn't live without this year. And first of all, this is probably going to be in quite a few videos, I'm sure. Probably most of these products are as well because they're sort of universally loved, I think. So yeah, first product from my kind of like skincare section is the Bioderma Cerulean H2O. And before I got this in sort of like January time this year, I never like took my makeup off before I cleansed. I used to just kind of go straight on with like my Lizelle cleansing polish or some other cleanser, and I used to just waste loads of product and it took too long and I never really got like a deep cleanse the first time round. But I found now using this, just kind of like take it on a big oval cotton wool pad, wipe it all over, and it just removes all my makeup and it makes cleansing so much quicker and easier. And this is just like the best, forget like makeup removing, eye makeup remover, anything, it just takes it all off. Even waterproof mascara, it just eats through it, it's so good. And then second of all, we have the Origins Overnight Mask. Now Origins is a brand that altogether I loved this year, but the absolute like best product that I think I found from them is the Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask. And I originally didn't want to get this, I originally wanted just the regular one, but I'm so glad I got this. I think if you're scared of using an overnight mask, don't be, because they are so amazing. You just wake up with like fresh, bright, moisturised skin. Yeah, so that's just one of my favourite things. Now this next product I haven't really had for too long, but I think in the kind of 3 or 4 months that I've been using it, the effects have really justified it being in this kind of like standout list. So it's the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo, and this has like really changed my skin. It's really turned it around. Basically I've always had these kind of little under the skin kind of bumps and like little, not blemishes, but sort of like pimples. I guess it's where I just use too many products and I kind of get build up in my skin, but that's really never going to change because I can't help using so many things. But this is actually kind of like, it's almost like a treatment. I use it really as like a serum, I suppose. I put it underneath a moisturiser. Sometimes I use it alone just for like an intense treatment. But basically it's sort of like an unclogging, correcting treatment. And I just noticed that since using this sort of like twice a day, it just really has, I don't know, got rid of all those little under the skin pimples. It really helps with sort of breakouts to kind of soothe them down and sort of help them get over themselves a lot quicker. So I think if you're prone to kind of like blemishes and things like that, this is just amazing. It has really turned my skin around. So this next product kind of falls between the skincare and makeup category, and it's the NYX Rive de Mille lip balm. And you should all probably know I'm a bit of a lip balm hoarder. I can't seem to stop myself buying them. But since this came into my life, I literally haven't touched another product. It's just the perfect kind of combination of moisturising but not too heavy, and protecting but not too glossy and not too sticky on the lips. It's just the best lip balm. It's kind of like a matte finish, so it's great for putting lipstick on top, and it just really stays on the lips all day and just makes them so moisturised. This is the only lip balm that I found like 1 or 2 applications and my lips sort of like back to normal. They don't have any dry patches, they don't have any chaps or anything like that. It's just the best lip product. And speaking of lip products, I'll move on to makeup now. And it's been really hard sort of narrowing down makeup favourites. So kind of a couple of them are one particular product, but there's a few variations of that product, so I'm sorry for that. But my first makeup favourite is the Topshop lipsticks. I have 4 of these. I couldn't choose between the colours. But I just found, I love Topshop's makeup range. I'm so glad they brought it out because it's quite reasonable, but it's good quality stuff, and the colours are just always like on trend because obviously they're from Topshop. But yeah, these are the colours Whimsical, Beguiled, Ooh La La and Mischief, and they're just like the 4 most perfect colours. This is all you need in a lipstick collection. You've got like a red, a nice neutral colour, a corally one, and like a deep sort of burgundy sort of colour. So they're just the nicest colours, and the formulation is brilliant. They just stay on so well, and they go on smoothly. They're not too shiny, but they're not too matte. I mean, they do vary in their formulations, but I just love them. I think they're so good and they're quite reasonably priced as well. So moving on to my second makeup item, and you'll probably all have seen this already, you're probably sick to death of me talking about it, but it's just been my absolute favourite foundation all year, and it's the Mercier Silk Cream. I picked this up on such a whim. I was just like, oh, I'll go to Mercier and buy this and kind of see if I like it. But I'm so glad I did. It's such a beautiful foundation. It's got the coverage without being heavy. It's so pigmented, you barely need any of it at all. And the colour for me is just really good. I really like it. But I could honestly just wear this forever and not have to buy another foundation. It's just been the absolute best thing in my kind of foundation collection this year. I've also been really loving a bronzer this year. I don't tend to go for bronzer too much because, you know, whatever colour I tend to buy, it makes me look a bit orangey because I'm quite pale. But this bronzer from Benefit, that again I picked up on a whim. I didn't think I'd like it because, I mean, look at it. It's really plummy and dark, but it turns out on my sort of skin tone, and I think on most people's skin tone probably, it just suits me so well. It's almost like a plummy sort of colour bronzer, so you can kind of get away with it being a bronzer and a blush, but I kind of like take it on the cheeks and up on the temples, you know, as you do with a normal bronzer. But it just really warms my skin up without looking too dark or too orangey. It's just been the absolute perfect bronzer for me, and I don't really tend to stick to cheek and face products too much, but I've just been using this pretty much like every day since I got it. Okay, so last actual makeup item, and I know this is a bit of a blogger YouTuber cliche, I guess, but it's the Urban Decay Naked Palette, and I'm putting this in there only because it is just all you need for eyeshadow basically. You could do any sort of look with this. I mean, the colours are just so versatile and you can mix them all together in different ways and use them. You could get like 1,000 different looks out of this, and I just think all the eyeshadows that I own, these are the ones that I do end up using the most because they are just, I just know there's going to be a colour and a combination in there that's really going to work for me every time. So I think it's great. Although these are quite pricey, I know, and everyone has them. I think if you really are looking for, like, you know, getting into eyeshadows for the first time, just pick up one of these palettes because they will have everything that you need. And considering if you buy, like, how many's in here, like 10 or 12, if you bought 10 or 12 MAC eyeshadows, it would set you back far beyond what this is. So yeah, I think they're such great eyeshadows too. The actual consistency of them, the pigmentation, the amount of time they last, they're just really good. So yes, the Naked palette gets a thumbs up from me. So there had to be some sort of nail varnish product in here, as again I'm obsessed, I can't help buying them. Yeah, but the brand that's really stood out for me this year has to be Essie. Ever since you've sort of been able to get them a lot more readily available in the UK, since Boots and Superdrug started stocking them, I've just been literally picking one up like once a week. But I've got my three sort of, like, I'd say most warm colours here. So obviously these were more towards like the spring and summer I was wearing these. So it's Absolutely Sure. This is very similar to Mint Candy Apple, but it's just a little bit lighter, a bit more pastel-y, and I really like that. And then Fiji, which is quite similar, it's more of a pinky tone one. But probably my favourite at the moment anyway of those ones is Bordeaux, and this is just kind of like the real perfect winter autumn colour. I love these sort of like deep burgundy, kind of like blood red colours, and this just seems to be like the perfect one, sort of not too red, not too dark, just like right in the middle. Yes, I really love those. So I'm not quite sure if this counts as a beauty product, but I'm going to throw it in there anyway, and it's the Bourjois Magic Nail Polish Remover. And I think this must be the cleverest invention of the year. I know these sort of things have been around for quite a while, but I think this just rivals them all. It's literally one of the things that you just pop your finger in, pull it out, and your nail varnish is gone. Which is so simple, but it just seems to work so well. It's not even got acetone in it, so it's really good for your nails. And I've just threw away all my other nail varnish removers because this is just the best thing. So these next ones again aren't really beauty products, but I had to include them anyway, and they are the Real Techniques brushes. I've got kind of like a selection here, but anything from the range is just amazing. Obviously the standout one being the buffing brush. This for foundation is just the best thing I've ever used. Especially with the Laura Mercier Silk Cream, it just buffs it in seamlessly. It gives you the best coverage without even barely having much product on the skin. It just makes everything go on so nicely. And then a couple of others. I've got the stippling brush, contour brush, which I actually use for concealer. I love the way it just buffs it in. It just makes it look so seamless, you can't even see where you've put it. The setting brush and the eye contour brush, which is just so multi-use again. I love that one. So the very last beauty favourite of 2012 was also in my 2011 favourite, so I suppose it just kind of shows you how much I actually love this product, and it is the Moroccan Oil hair treatment. And literally my hair before this was just a damaged dry mess. I bleached it, I used heat tools on it too much and messed around with it, but every time I use this now, it just seems to go back to normal. It goes back to the way it was before any of that happened. It's just so smoothing and moisturising. I use this every single day, you know, if I wash my hair or if it's just dry, I put a bit of on the ends, and it just makes it feel so amazing. I think of everything, this is probably my favourite. If I had to like just pick one, I would pick Moroccan because it just changed the way my hair felt. So yes, I'll probably still be loving that next year, 2013. Yes, so that is everything. I hope you enjoyed those, guys, and I hope that kind of inspired you to maybe try out some new things this year. I know I will be as well after watching so many of these like favourite videos. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed that, and I will speak to you soon.